Hey guys, so for this video we are going to do our chunky mushroom. These are so cute. I absolutely love them. Super quick, super easy, great for beginners, while also being, not like a basic plushie. It's a little more in depth, a little more involved. So anyways, in your little take-home kits that you purchased, you will have your yarn needed. There should be plenty of yarn. When I measured this, I did a looser stitch, and I left you extra on top of that. When you are, like, that's like yarning over versus yarning under. Yarning over just naturally tightens your stitch. So yarning over, you have to work a little bit more to have a tight stitch. So with these, I yarned over, so it was a looser stitch. So there should be plenty of yarn. You should be good. But you will have the color for the cap. We're gonna do it in blue today. And you'll have the white for the butt. In your little kits, you will have the safety eyes, your stitch marker, the backs to the safety eyes, and back here is a crocheting sewing needle. It's not sharp, it's just plastic. It's great for right now. And you will have your crochet hook. I have gotten you a 5. Bubba, I'm so sorry. He does that. I have gotten you a 5.5 millimeter hook. I figured it would be easiest to start because I personally think learning is easier on bigger things as opposed to like smaller, skinnier yarns. But once you get going, you'll find what you enjoy, what you like. The good thing about chenille is, and like if you ever work with blanket yarn, is it's like plushy. So it's, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. It's like fuzzy and it has room to fill gaps when you are finding yourself with a looser stitch. But yeah, if you need any further help, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll link everything below, but let's get it going. Alrighty. So we're gonna start with our mushroom cap. Starting with the color of your choosing, we're gonna do, or the color I've given you. Unless you do more, then you do you. But we're gonna do it in blue for the sake of right now. All right, so we're gonna do 6 single crochets into a magic ring. All right, so let's get it going. All right, so with that magic ring, let's get this stuff out of our way. Okay, so pointer, middle, grab the end, grab the working end, wrap it around the back, make that X. You're gonna go in with your hook, grab the back piece, which is the working end, pull it through, then grab that piece again, pull it through. We have our magic ring. Straighten that baby out, and let's throw 6 single crochets in here. All right, I like to grab it like this. So let's go into the magic ring. You can kind of see where I'm grabbing it. Grab that, yarn over, pull through for 1, into that magic ring, grab it, yarn over, pull through for 2, into the magic ring, yarn over, pull through for 3, into the magic ring, yarn over, pull through for 4, into the magic ring, yarn over, pull through for 5, into the magic ring, yarn over, pull through for 6. Alrighty, so remember, grab our end and the end of, or the beginning of our little chain, and pull it tight, nice and tight. It'll look like that. Beautiful. So now our next step is to increase all around. So we're gonna go from 6 to 12. So we're putting an increase into every single stitch. Alrighty. So straighten that out, and then we're gonna go, so you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here is number 6. So go into your front and back loop, go into both, grab that yarn, pull through, yarn over for 1, back into that same stitch, grab it, yarn over, pull through for 2. Now the next stitch, into the back and front, grab it, pull through for 3, into that same, grab the yarn, pull through for 4, to the next stitch, grab your yarn, pull through for 5, into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through for 6, into that next stitch, yarn over, pull through for 7, into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through for 8, into the next, yarn over, pull through for 9, into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through for 10, next stitch, yarn over, pull through for 11, into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through for 12. So that is row 2. So now we're going to do row 3, which is a single crochet and an increase times 6. So we're going from 12 to 18. All right. So in our first stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through for 1. So our next stitch is an increase. Grab that yarn, yarn over, pull through for 2 into that same stitch. Grab that yarn, yarn over, pull through for 3. Next stitch, grab it, yarn over, pull through for 4 into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through for 5 to that same stitch. Yarn over, pull through for 6. Next stitch, yarn over, pull through for 7. Next stitch, grab that yarn, yarn over, pull through for 8 to that same stitch, yarn over, pull through for 9. All right, next stitch, grab it, yarn over, pull through for 10, and then the next one, grab it, yarn over, pull through for 11, same stitch, yarn over, pull through for 12. Next stitch, grab her, yarn over, pull through for 13. Next stitch, yarn over, pull through for 14 to that same stitch, yarn over, pull through for 15. Next stitch, yarn over, pull through for 16. Next stitch, yarn over, pull through for 17. Back in that same stitch, yarn over, pull through for 18. So that is our third row. So our fourth row, I have the increase and the single crochet swapped. So when you know, a lot of patterns won't bother to swap them. You can end up with more of a hexagon pattern, or what do we got? Whatever, how many sides you end up having. More of a like square pattern with flat sides than you have to by swapping the increase in the single and the crochet. It helps round it a little bit. This one still ends up a little square, but that one's actually not too bad. But it's not as bad as if you didn't swap them. Honestly, it doesn't matter. You do you. Do whatever you want to do. All right. So now we're going from 18 to 24. So we're going to do an increase and then 2 single crochets. All right. So here we go. So in our first stitch, we're going to go yarn over for 1, same stitch, yarn over for 2. So next stitch, yarn over for 3, next stitch, yarn over for 4, next stitch, yarn over for 5, same stitch, yarn over for 6, next stitch,
yarn over for 7, next stitch, yarn over for 8. Sorry if you can hear twinkle toes in the background. My dog does not like that I am not in bed right now. All right, next stitch, yarn over for 9, same stitch, yarn over for 10, next stitch, yarn over for 11, next stitch, and yarn over for 12. Next stitch, yarn over for 13, same stitch, yarn over for 14. Next stitch, yarn over for 15. Hey, Bubba. Let me finish this row. 16. I don't even know where I was. Okay. Next stitch, yarn over for 16. All right, I gotta pause. Dog's gotta go potty. We're on 16. I'll be right back. Alrighty, we're back. Sorry. All right, so next stitch, pull through, yarn over for 17, into that same stitch, yarn over for 18, next stitch, yarn over for 19, next stitch, yarn over for 20, next stitch, yarn over for 21, same stitch, yarn over for 22, same stitch, yarn over for 23, and the next stitch, yarn over for 24. So there we are, row 4. All right, so rows 5 and 6 are going to be just 24 all the way around. So I will do one with you, then we'll pause, or I'll do a few single crochets with you, because at this point I'm confident in you. You got this. All right. So this is where the stitch marker comes in handy. So I like to yarn over for 1, yarn over for 2, yarn over for 3. That's when I kind of like to pause. Then you got your 1, 2, and 3. And that's where I like to put my little stitch marker. Because you know there's 24 crochet, you know there's 24 stitches. So really, then you kind of go on cruise mode. You don't have to count for a minute. Because, doing it for so long kind of gets redundant. You kind of start to go crazy. But you get really good at, and it sounds kind of silly, you get really good at multiples, math in your head. I've never been a big math person, ever. I always struggled with it. Definitely due to undiagnosed ADHD. But also, I think weirdly just repetition, doing it so much helps. And you'll get there to the point where it becomes mindless. I get to a point where I don't really use stitch markers. I add up, so we're doing 2 rows. So 24 times 2 is 48, where I wouldn't use a stitch marker. I just do 48 stitches. But sometimes with kids or distractions, that's not really possible. So that's where the stitch marker comes in handy. I've definitely been using it a lot lately because these kids, they've been wildin'. I got a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, and they are nuts. You need a dose of birth control? Come hang out with mine. I love them though. They're great. Okay, so we did 1 full round. Back to our stitch marker. So that is when we are going to pop that baby out. Go in for 1. Go in for 2. Go in for 3. So we got 1, 2, 3. Pop that baby back in. If I can manage. Pop that baby back in. Do the next row. Pause the video here. I'm going to swing through it, and then we'll pick up. Alrighty, so we are at the end of row 6. I did my 24. Pop that stitch marker out. And we are going on to row 7. So this is where the front loop, back loop stuff comes into play. we are going to do the front loop only, a single crochet 3 times in 3 different stitches, and then an increase. So we're going from 24 to 30. Alrighty, so remember, our front, our back. So into our front loop only, we're gonna do 1, next stitch, 2, next stitch, 3, next stitch is 4, same stitch is 5. If you look at the inside now, you'll start to see that it is forming a line, which will come in handy with the body. Next stitch for 6, next stitch for 7, next stitch for 8, next stitch for 9, and same stitch for 10. Next stitch for 11, next stitch for 12, next stitch for 13, next stitch for 14, same stitch for 15. And sorry if it sounds like I'm like whispering. It is, what time is that? It's like 1:15 and everyone's sleeping, so I don't want to wake anyone. All right, next stitch for 16, next stitch for 17, next stitch for 18, next stitch for 19, same stitch for 20, next stitch for 21, sorry, my nose itches, next stitch for 22, next stitch for 23, next stitch for 24, same stitch for 25, next 26, next one, 27, next one is 28, and then we have 29, and in the same stitch we have 30. So this is what your inside should look like. You'll have this little line. Alrighty, so we are going to get into row 8, our last row of our cap. We're going to do an increase first and then 4 single crochets. Alrighty, and this is back through both the front and the back. Alrighty, so so the next, if I can work this out, I'm going to go in for 1, yarn over for 2, next for 3, next for 4, then for 5, and the next one for 6, next stitch for 7, yarn over for 8, next one is for 9, next stitch for 10, next stitch for 11, and the next stitch for 12, next stitch for 13, and then 14, next one for 15, next one for 16, next one for 17, and then 18 in the next one. Next stitch for 19, 20 into that same stitch, 21 in the next one, 22, 23, sorry if this is really annoying. Next one for 24. Did I do a 23, 24? I'm gonna double check. Nope, I did 18. Okay, no, one more single crochet. I don't want to screw everyone up. All right, so this is 24. Okay, so next for 25, next for 26, or same for 26. Next for 27, the next stitch for 28, next stitch for 29, and the next one for 30. So one more set into the next stitch for 31, same stitch for 32, next stitch for 33, next stitch for 34, next stitch for 35, next stitch for 36. All right, so we have our leftovers. This is where we can cut this. We don't need all of the leftovers. Really, this end doesn't really, not super important. So we're gonna pull that bad boy out. What I have found that I like to do, I used to just like loop it in and tie it, but then you still kind of get like an edge. So I like to stick my crochet hook into the next stitch and pull that all through. Then go into the next stitch, grab that yarn again, pull it back out, and let's do one more into the next stitch, pull it back in. You can kind of tighten it if you need to. It kind of cleans it up a little bit. Turn that baby inside out, and then knot these. So you don't pull it super, super tight. It doesn't have to be super, super tight. It'll kind of handle itself, but this kind of secures it, gets it out of the way. You don't have to worry about anything loosening up. All right, let's tie her. There we go. We have our mushroom cap. Beautiful. You got your line in there. Get rid of that. Save it for another project. You do you. I'm here for it. All right, so now we need our white for the butt. So row 9 is working in the back loop only of row 7. So back where we did that 30 in the front loop, now it's coming into play. We're going to attach white with a slip stitch and a single crochet around. So it's going to be 24 single crochets. All right. So you see that line? You're just going to go right into it. Take your end, come back through. You've got your end and your working end. So grab your working end, just yarn it over and pull through again. It's gonna be a little loose. Don't stress out too much about it. You'll be fine. So now with our single crochets around, you're gonna go into that next surface stitch. Pull it through. And then just keep on going. So that's 2. Sorry if I'm getting close. 3, 4, and then you get to this part where it's kind of uneven. So you will just go straight into, oh, do I have another one? Yeah, I do. I fibbed. Yarn over for the next one, and then it jumps. So you see how I'm here, but the next one is here. No big deal. You won't even be able to tell. They won't even know. How are they gonna know? All right, so I'm gonna let you go through and do all of those. And then following row 9, you're going to have row 10 and 11 that are also just single crochets all the way around. So 3 rows. So we're going to do what we did with the cap. You can pause now, do those 3 rows, and when you're ready for row 12, that's when you press play again. All right, I'll see you guys in a minute. Oh, and one more thing. You kind of get to that bit where this is tied. Don't worry. Just kind of push it out of the way and go right around it. It's not the end of the world. It's going to be great, I promise. Yep, so go right, if I can even do it, go right around into the next stitch. Act like it's not even there, and you'll never know. They're never going to know. All right, now pause. All right, so we are back. We've got our rows of 24. So now we are going to get into the arms. This is where the bobble stitch comes into play. Alrighty, so row 12, single crochet, 7 stitches, a bobble stitch, then 8 stitches, another bobble stitch, and then 7 stitches. Alrighty, so let's do it. So we're going to go in, and I apologize, white yarn is really hard to work with. It kind of sucks, so you need some good lighting. So we're going to go in for 1, next stitch for 2, next stitch for 3, next for 4, next stitch for 5, and then next one for 6, and number 7 in the next stitch, and now our bobble stitch. So our bobble stitch, it is on your abbreviations page. It is in the abbreviations video. It's a pretty easy stitch. Alrighty, so we're going to yarn over, pull into our next stitch, grab that yarn, pull it through. So we have 3 on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over again into that same stitch, grab that yarn and pull through. So now we have 4 on the hook, yarn over and pull through 2. So you have 3 standing stitches. Yarn over, go in back into that same stitch, grab that yarn, pull through. So we have 5 on the hook, yarn over and pull through 2. Again, we've got 4 standing stitches. Yarn over into that same stitch again, pull through. We have 6 stitches, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have 5 standing stitches. We're going to yarn over, pull through all 5. That is what our bobble stitch is going to look like, and we're going to follow that up with the 8 single crochets. So into the next stitch, yarn over for 8. I like to pull it real tight. All right, next one for 2, next stitch for 3, next stitch for 4, next stitch for 5, next stitch for 6, next stitch for 7, and next stitch for 8. So now our second bobble stitch. So yarn over into that stitch, pull through, yarn over again, pull through 2. Yarn over to that same stitch, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2. So we have our 3 standing stitches. Yarn over into that same stitch, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, 4 standing stitches, yarn over into that same stitch, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2. So we have our 5 standing stitches. Yarn over one last time, pull through all, jimmy it through all 5. There we go. We have our second bobble stitch. So now we're going to go for our last 7. So into the next stitch, pull through, yarn over for 1, stick that little arm out. Next stitch, pull through for 2, next stitch for 3, next stitch for 4, and then 5, 6, and 7. Alrighty, so then we have rows 13 and 14, which are another just single crochets 24 all the way around. So I will do the first leg of it with you once you get to the bobble stitch, just to make sure you're not missing a stitch. So we'll go in for 1, 2, and 3. We'll put our stitch marker wherever she may be. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So we'll kind of cruise along. Do 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 do. Doom, 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 doom. Sorry, I'm not elevator music, but I try. All right, so now you see we're approaching our bobble stitch. So you will see that it's kind of like a fat stitch, long one. Just go right into it like normal. And then bam, and just keep going along. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys kind of pause, work at your own pace, and I will see you when you are done with rows 13 and 14. All right, guys, so we did our rows 13 and 14. So now is a good time to pause crocheting and insert your safety eyes. Insert them between rows 11 and 12, about 4 stitches apart. This original pattern by Chunky Crochet on Instagram, she's fantastic. The pattern is beautiful. They used smaller eyes. I'm a team big eyes person, you know, whatever. It doesn't really matter. So with the Chunky Mushroom, you can pull that out so you don't lose it. With the Chunky Mushroom, I just kind of take the safety eyes and then I take it right by the hands and I just pop it in. You have the hand stitch. I just go into the next one. It really, you can put them wherever you feel like you want them. So you have it in that one, and then I go to the second hand, pop it in. I think they look good. They're not wonky. They'll look like this in the back. Little pokies. That's when we take our backing this way down and press them real good. You can kind of hear them click when you know they're working. I'll hold it close to the camera so you can kind of hear. And they go over these little bumps right here. They are good. They are in. Yes, I still would not let your child chew on them or your dog, but they're in. Alrighty. So on to row 15. Sorry. So row 15 is single crochet 9, another bobble stitch, and then single crochet 5, another bobble stitch, and single crochet 8. So these are the legs. And don't ask me how, but sometimes I don't know what I do, but my crochets are always off. So sometimes I don't know what happens. Sometimes they're off. Sometimes you just gotta kind of do it on the fly. We'll see if this one works out. But you'll see what I mean. Like, you kind of, just from looking at this one, you kind of have a general idea of where you want those legs placed. So let's see if this one just works out. Let's see if the yarn gods are on my side. All right, so in for 1, next stitch for 2, next stitch for 3, next stitch for 4, next stitch for 5, next stitch for 6, next stitch for 7. Ooh, we're looking good. Next stitch for 8, next stitch for 9. Yeah, I think we're good. So now now is our bobble stitch. All right, so we're gonna yarn over. If this looks like crap, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm not sorry. Pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over again, into that same stitch. God, I really hate white yarn. I'm so sorry, guys. Yarn over, pull through 2. You have 3 standing stitches. Grab that yarn into that same stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2. If I can get in here, they can get kind of tangled. It doesn't hurt to stop and straighten things out. So now we have 4 standing stitches. Yarn over, back through that same loop. Yarn over, pull through 2. We have 5 standing stitches. These ones are, there we go. And then yarn over, pull through all 5. We got our little tootsies, as my children would say. And then next stitch, that's gonna be our 1. Yeah, I don't like where that leg is. We're gonna pull that baby out. So if you end up with 9 and it works out, good for you. I'm proud of you. I don't know what it is that I do. I don't know why it doesn't work. But sometimes you gotta go on the fly. So we got 9. It's not the end of the world. We're gonna go into the next stitch for 10. Let's see. I think that's a good place. So I did 10 single crochets. If 9 works for you, perfect. So yarn over into that stitch, pull through for 2 standing loops, yarn over into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 for 3 standing stitches, yarn over, same spot, yarn over, pull through 2 for 4 standing stitches, yarn over, same spot. Yeah, you know, after this is done, I can't wait to not work with white yarn for a long time. Pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we've got 5 standing stitches, yarn over, pull through all 5. Yeah, that's a better place. All right, into our next stitch. 1. Where are we? Sorry. So this is going to be 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And remember, like I said, it's not the end of the world if you stray from the path. So here is that. I don't like where this next one's going to end up. So 5, 6, because mine are closer to each other. 6, 7. Yeah, this is, let me see, 7, no, I'm gonna go 1 more. 7, 8, yeah, this is where I'm gonna put my bobble. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through 2 for 2 standing stitches, yarn over, back into that same hole, yarn over, pull through 2 for 3 standing stitches, yarn over, pull through 2, You have 4 standing stitches, yarn over, back into that same spot, yarn over, pull through 2 for 5 standing stitches, yarn over, pull through all 5. Next, we're going to yarn over for your first single crochet in that last 8. Look at that, we got a little leggies. And we're almost done, guys. You got this. So that's 1. Go in for 2. Go in for 3. 4. Next stitch for 5. Next stitch for 6. Next stitch for 7. And then next stitch for 8. So there we are, our little leggies. Look at him, he's so cute. Looks like he's got like a beach hat, like a straw hat. All right, so now we get into our second to last row, row 16. We're gonna go from 24 to 12. So we are going to decrease in every single stitch. So this is where we go back to that abbreviations video. And you can either decide to do a regular decrease or an invisible decrease like I do. For the sake of it all, in the octopus video, I did invisible decreases. For this video, I'm going to do regular decreases. Don't ask me why. I figured, why not? There's a method to my madness. So, to that first stitch, grab that yarn, pull through. Into the next stitch, grab that yarn, pull through. Yarn over. Pull through 2. No, pull through all 3 of them. I don't do regular decreases very often. But apparently I don't remember how. So that's 1, and it's late. So that's 1. So into the next stitch, grab that yarn. Into the next stitch, grab that yarn over, pull through all 3. For 2. All right, next stitch, pull through. Next stitch, we got 3, pull through, all 3. For 3. Next stitch, pull through. Next stitch, pull through, yarn over for 4. So then we're going to go into our next stitch, grab that yarn, the next one, grab that yarn, yarn over for 4. Maybe, I don't know. It's late. Go through the next stitch, pull through, next stitch, pull through. We'll call that 5. I'm delirious. Honestly, things don't have to be perfect. It's gonna be great. Next stitch, pull through. Next stitch, pull through. We'll call it 6. Next stitch, pull through. Next stitch, pull through. We'll call it 7. And honestly, I hate white yarn. Black yarn too. They both suck. All right. Our next stitch, where am I? There we go. 1, 2, yarn over, pull through for 8. Next stitch, and the next one, pull through for 9. Next stitch, and the next stitch, pull through for 10. Next stitch, pull through for 11. Next stitch, pull through for 12. And there it is. We're starting to close. It's looking cute. So this is when I like to pause. Most videos will say like stuff as you go. I really like to stuff when the gap is big enough that you can still fit things into, but small enough that things don't fall out and get in your way. Because if you overstuff at some point, you're like crocheting in the stuffing and it just like makes a mess. All right, so take our stuffing. Sorry. My yarn ball fell, so I'm working in a weird angle right now. Alright, so stuff it on in there. And there we are. We got our 12. So now for our last and final row, row 17, we are going to again go from 12 to 6, so a decrease in every single stitch. Okay, you guys got this. We're almost there. Home run. Back in there. All right. For the sake of showing you, I'll do invisible decreases for this one. Okay. Also, if you're ever thinking about getting one of these like crochet hook rings, fantastic, game changer. All right, so we're gonna go into the front loop of our next stitch. Do not yarn over, go into the front loop of the following stitch. So you had 2 of them. Grab that yarn, pull through both of those loops, yarn over, and then pull through. So that is your invisible decrease. So the difference between an invisible decrease and a regular decrease is, personally, I feel like the invisible decrease uses less yarn. So if you're like looking to really do as much as you can with what you've got, I prefer the invisible decrease. And as you start to make bigger things, when you do a regular decrease, it tends to form a line. Invisible decreases, avoid that. And really, it's not the end of the world that there's a line in it. You know, who cares? No one's gonna care. No one's gonna notice. But if you're like me, where you're a little like, you know, it's like the OCD, the ADHD in my head where I got to do what I can. So I prefer the invisible decreases. And like anything, and like I've told you before, is if you do something so much, it becomes habit. This will become habit too. I do it without even thinking. You know, you'll find what works for you. So into the front of our next one. And then the next one. And if, you know, if a stitch is too tough, don't worry about it. Just do what you can. Don't stress. Like that one, I'm struggling getting into the front loop. I don't care. I'm going in through both. And then pull through. Come on, girly. Work with me. Pull through both of those. This is where this thing hates me. We're going to try this again. Oh, I did it. All right, pull through both, yarn over, and that's for 2. And this is where I like to pull this tight, the stitches nice and tight, because it's going to be closing it up. All right, next stitch, and the following stitch. Grab those, yarn over for 3, the front loop of the next stitch, and the front loop of the next one. Grab that yarn and pull through both of those front loops, yarn over, pull through for 4, front loop of the next one, and the following one. Grab that yarn, pull through both of those front loops, yarn over, pull through for 5. All right, last one, front loop of the next one, and the following. If I can do it, come on. It's starting to get a little tight. Sorry. All right, we're doing a regular decrease because it doesn't like me. Pull through, and don't, you know, do what you gotta do. Don't be afraid to switch it up. Don't be afraid to, that's the beauty of crocheting, is you can manipulate things to work for you. You don't have to follow a pattern. No one really cares. All right, so Then we're gonna take the end of our yarn. I like to pull it out so you don't lose it, because now we are going to, with the leftover tail, we're gonna weave it in and out of the holes to tighten her up, and then we are going to take the leftovers to sew on these little white spots. If you don't want white spots, don't worry about it. If you do, go for it. It'll kind of look like this. All right, so we're gonna take our crochet sewing needle, get it down in there. So for this part, again, sorry I stuck it with white yarn. Silly Monica. So take the yarn, go into your next stitch from the outside, bring her all the way through. Then go out of the next stitch. Oops, don't pull too tight that you lose it. All right, so back in through the next stitch. Sorry. Get over there, mushy. And then out through the next one. Then we're gonna do it one more time, back in through that stitch. Right, and you can take that sewing needle and just take it right through. Since you've already got it on the hook, sorry, I got coffee over here, I almost just dumped it. Right through that loop, and then you can start to pull. It's just gonna close itself up, create a knot, and be wonderful and secure. And you have your beautiful little mushy. My leg's a little wonky, but look at him. He's so cute. So that's when we're gonna take this, go in through the bottom, doesn't matter where your spots are. It's however you make it. And you just kind of put in some spots. So we'll throw in a couple, just kind of go around. There's no rhyme or rhythm or purpose, or it's just whatever you want to do. You want one single spot? Do it. I dare you. You want 10 spots? Go for it. You want 12? I believe in you. 12 is a good number. I like 13 better, but I'm here for it. Kind of keep sewing in some spots. Sorry, my cat's doing something. Causing some ruckus. Sewing a couple more. Let me get this thing out of there. You guys, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for doing this. I hope you love it. I hope you had a good time. And remember, if you need anything, do not hesitate to reach out to me. I'm here for it. I'm here for you. Let's do it. Let's do the thing. All right, so I'm happy with my amount of stitches. So then with this last one, to make our last little spot, we're gonna take it and we're gonna go out on the body somewhere, doesn't matter. So this part, just to kind of secure, I like to then take my yarn close to where I came out and just you'll kind of feel the crochet needle like weave in and out of layers of your crochet. It just kind of hides it a little bit, but also secures it. You'll feel it, the wiggle and squeeze. So then you pull it through. You can stuff this entire thing in. I would not cut it super short because then it's more likely to fall out. So let's see, for right now's sake, we're gonna go that. Cut it. That's when you will get rid of your spare. Take your little handy dandy pen, whatever you want to use. You can use this. You can use your crochet needle. That's totally fine. You can get you one of these. I love it. If you are planning on crocheting more, you're going to be stuffing in a lot of ends. So I definitely suggest these little things. And again, I'm so sorry. I don't know what it's called. But I definitely got it at Joann's. But Joann's, Michael's, you can do it. A pen works just fine too. I used a pen for a long time. All right. And there you are. You did it. Proud of you. I hope you love it. I hope you had a good time. And I hope you do more. All right. See you later, guys.